What's on that?
Yeah, I love Giants fans.
Everybody Eagles fans. They get on you out here.
Yeah, I love Giants fans. Glad we're gonna have good practice.
Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. I'm having a good day today. The media was in the building. Beat writers were in the building. The timelines were flooded with information, clips, videos, updates, and all that. So of course I'm happy about that. Another thing I'm happy about is we got to see a highlight from Malik Nabers, right? We haven't got too many clips of Malik Nabers. We've been hearing all this good stuff about Malik Nabers, but we finally got a highlight from Malik Nabers. And here's the thing. We should not be begging, pleading to get a clip of Malik Nabers. They should be flooding our timeline with clips of Malik Nabers. I'm hearing he's having a great OTA, but I'm not seeing too much of that because guess what? They're too busy showing us, things that we like to see, but things that, the fan base really wants to know how Malik Nabers is doing, and we saw that today. A fantastic catch. And guess what happened? You had a buzz on Twitter, on X. Everybody's looking at the clip of Malik Nabers. Everybody's getting excited. And why did we have to wait to OTA 9 to get some more excitement or to inject some excitement into this fan base? So OTA 9, a lot of information. I got my notes here, and let's get into some of the quick notes. So first off, I want to talk about the people that didn't participate. Evan Neal was on the sideline today on the bike. Now, let me take a step back and let me think about this. He's only been in OTAs for about 2 weeks now. He has not participated in 11-on-11. They brought him out for that. So that means he's only been in like the walkthroughs and individual drills. And now he's already on the sideline with that level of participation in practice. He's already on the sideline on the bike. A lot of people say you shouldn't be concerned about this. Guess what? I'm concerned about it. I'm concerned about it. This is a big deal, for me. We'll see what happens with tomorrow with the OTAs to see if he's back out there. But if he's working on the sideline again tomorrow, yeah, I'm going to be worried about it because if your body can't make it through OTAs, how is your body going to make it through minicamp or training camp, preseason? It's a big concern for me. Burns was not in the building today. I'm pretty sure it was personal. We didn't hear any information. Dable's at the podium. Nobody asked him about it. I guess because it's all pre-practice. But no issues. We didn't hear anything about Brian Burns, so I'm assuming it's just a personal day. No Grams Gano today. It is what it is. Another vet. We know what he does. And then no Gunnar Olszewski, but they were able to see him on the sideline. Gunnar Olszewski's in a boot. We don't know exactly what's going on. He's in the boot, so it got to be a foot or an ankle injury. They did say that he will not be ready for minicamp. The hope is that he'll be ready for training camp. Now, guess what? If Gunnar Olszewski is not ready to go, there's a lot of guys that are willing to take his spot. So if I'm Gunnar Olszewski, hopefully you heal. Don't rush yourself back. But listen, you're going to need to be at practice, young man. Okay, so now a list of guys that were also on the sideline today. This is a long list. Surprised me, too. I just did the Micah McFadden video. Come to find out today, Micah McFadden was on the sideline, working out on the sideline. He joined Isaiah McKenzie, Isaiah Simmons. And one thing about Isaiah Simmons that I found out today, Isaiah Simmons has not been participating in the team activities during OTAs. He's been on the installs, the walkthroughs. He's been in the individual drills, but he has not participated in 7-on-7 or 11-on-11, which I was surprised that, we're just getting that information. Let's see what else. Aaron Robinson on the sideline. Javarius Owens, Tyree Jackson, tackle Matt Nelson. All these guys working on the side. I think it was 2 other names too, but I didn't write those down in my notes. But let's talk about the star of the show, Malik Nabers. Malik Nabers today finally made it to the highlight reel. Finally made it to the play of the day. Had 2 deep touchdown passes from Drew Lock today during 11-on-11. But that's not where it stops. He also had a touchdown in 7-on-7 from Daniel Jones. And now Daniel Jones is still not participating in 11 on 11s. He's still only in 7 on 7s. And he had himself a pretty good day today, too. He was working in the red zone. I believe he had 5 touchdowns on 6 passes. I talked about Malik Nabers getting one of those. Also with 2, Hyatt had 2. Wan'Dale Robinson also had 2 during those 7 on 7s from Daniel Jones. Now, when we talk about Malik Nabers in 11 on 11, that one touchdown, that's a highlight. Everybody's seen it by now, is he made that catch over Cordell Flott. And when you look at it, you slow it down. Cordell Flott didn't get his head around, didn't know where the ball was. And by the time he found out where the ball was, it was already in Malik Nabers' hands for the touchdown. He's learning. This is one of those plays where you learn from. He ended up getting a touchdown scored on him. I'm pretty sure he's going to watch the all 22 of practice. He's going to see that play and figure out what he did wrong. Or maybe Malik Nabers is just that good. Maybe that's what happened. Malik Nabers also got behind the safeties on the second touchdown from Drew Lock, which they also said should have been a sack. But again, when you're wearing the red jerseys, it's OTAs. You can't touch them. Play must go on. Go ahead and give you guys a chance to make the play. And that's the theme of OTAs this offseason, minicamp, training camp, going into the 2024 season. Let the playmakers make plays. That's my theme. You got all these weapons. Hyatt was at the podium today talking about how good this wide receiver room is, and I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. But let the playmakers make the plays. Okay, so what else happened today? So we already talked about Drew Lock a little bit. I'll talk a little bit about him, a little bit more about him right now. So they did practice some scramble drills today. And listen, Drew Lock had himself a pretty good day today. They did say he did have a lot of pressure, but he was able to make some plays still. So during the scramble drills, Drew Lock was able to hit Lawrence Cager for a touchdown, as well as Isaiah Hodgins for a touchdown. Another note that I have here was, where's Daniel Jones for the 11 on 11s? He's not ready to go for 11 on 11s. Brian Dable was asked about that. He said, right now we're going to keep it where it is, 7 on 7. Said he's making his progress. And when it's time to move, step up and move him up or progress to 11 on 11s, that's when he'll do it. But right now, he's going to stick to what the plan is. And it is what it is. And I'm pretty sure Daniel Jones, being the competitor that he is, he's seeing Drew Lock have success in 11 on 11s. If he goes out there the first time, it's 11 on 11s and can't make plays, boy, I don't know. But him getting back to 11 on 11 as soon as possible is probably in his best interest. All right, so let's talk about some of the players at the podium. So Hyatt was able to speak today, and I just had some quick notes about what he said. So he believes the Giants are a playoff team, or that they have a playoff team. He believes believes in the talent in the wide receiver room, especially. He said the addition of Malik Nabers gives that room confidence. He said they finally got playmakers. I believe that's not a knock on anybody else that was here prior, to Malik Nabers and Wan'Dale Robinson. But guess what? All Jalen Hyatt knows is the 2023 season. That's all he knows from the New York Giants. That's when he started, as a player for the New York Giants. So he's talking about his experience. He did have high praise for Malik Nabers as well. Said they go back. They've been friends for a while, even prior to the draft, prior to him being a teammate of his, that these guys had a pretty good relationship. Hyatt also talked about, what he did, how he prepared in the offseason. He had himself a personal coach out in Houston. He also had a focus on gaining weight and getting stronger. He did say that he put on some pounds, but he would not go any further when asked how much weight did he gain. Now, when you look at him, and I thought there was a picture, I believe it was like OTA 2, where, they showed his arms did look a little bit bigger. I thought maybe it was just the way the shadows were casted from the sun, the angle and stuff like that, but said no. He said he gained some weight. To me, if he did gain some weight, a guy with that kind of frame, probably no more than like 3 to 4 pounds probably is what I'm thinking. You don't want to put too much weight on him, but he did say that the weight he did gain did not affect his speed. So he made a focus on that. John Runyon was also at the podium today, and he had a lot to say. So let's go over some of these notes too. So he said the O-line right now as a whole is making it a priority that they hang out just not on the field, but also off of the field. So they're trying to build that camaraderie. They're trying to build that chemistry on and off the field. That's fantastic. You love to hear that, from your linemen. He said he also likes working with JMS. He also said he likes working with Evan Neal. He said Evan Neal's getting his body right. But when he talked about both of those guys, he said those guys are mature for their age. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if he knows how old JMS is, but he's only 2 years older than JMS. JMS was pretty old coming out as a rookie, 24 already. So maybe he didn't know that, but Evan Neal's still a pretty young guy. So good to hear that these guys are mature for their age. He said also he had a comment that I think is very important. Drop the jewel. He said O-linemen prefer just to play in one spot, but they know how valuable being versatile is. So, and I take that as, you know what? Yes, he moved from right guard to left guard. Now he's back at right guard. I'm sorry, he went from left guard to right guard, and he's a right guard now. He said before that he preferred to be a left guard, but he's just saying that, as an offensive lineman, and I don't blame him, as an offensive lineman, you want to know where you're going to be playing. Makes a lot of sense because you have to make certain adjustments depending on where you're at on the line. And he just said that offensive linemen prefer to have one spot. But again, they understand how valuable it is to be versatile. And I'm with him. The musical chairs for me, I'm over that. We did that for a lot of years. This offensive line has to be set. This offensive line has to be set, and they have to be set quickly because they have to build this chemistry before the season starts, and you can't do that if you keep shifting guys around. So, like, by the second week of the preseason, and that's being generous, we better know, who this offensive line or, what this offensive line looks like, who's going to be where and all of that. So, that's what I'm hoping for. That's one thing that I'm going to be looking out for. Banks was at the podium as well. And they asked Banks, a question about, what's the difference between Wink's system and Bowen's new system here. And he said that, Wink's system was more aggressive, but that doesn't mean that Bowen's system is not aggressive. They're still aggressive, but just not as aggressive as Wink's system. We pretty much knew that. He also made a comment about Malik Nabers. He said him and Malik Nabers are pretty much the same person when you look at the height, weight, stuff like that. He said he enjoys the challenge, the one-on-ones, and that, these guys are growing together. They're making each other better. So shout out to Deontay Banks. He's always a good watch when he's at the podium. I love what the young man is saying. So outside of that, I do have some more quick notes. These are all going to be from Dan Duggan. I saw him put out a post, so I just want to go ahead and spotlight some of these. He said Azudu gave up constant pressure from the right tackle spot. What else is new? He said Locke was accurate, but was under pressure for many of the dropbacks. DeVito had a rough day, also due to the amount of pressure they were facing. And I believe one of the names they dropped for pressure on DeVito was Boogie Basham. He's having a quiet, good OTA. I think they said Kayvon Thibodeau was the one that was disrupting a lot of the lock plays. And that was because he was playing on the side where Zudu was. Said, and I told you guys before, Simmons hasn't participated in the spring only in installs and walkthroughs. And then Carter Coughlin has stepped in for Micah McFadden because, Micah McFadden was on the sideline for whatever reason. But that's the recap for today, OTA 9. There's only one OTA left, and that's going to be tomorrow. Mandatory minicamp. We get to find out a lot of things with this mandatory minicamp. Mandatory minicamp is next week, the 11th and the 12th. I believe that's Tuesday and Wednesday. And yeah, we can't wait to see what this Darren Waller news is going to be. Right now, they're still playing it cool. They're keeping it PG, trying to keep it PG, right? They're keeping it PG, saying, Darren Waller needs to make his decision. We'll give him his time. And once he makes his decision, it is what it is. Listen, it's about the money right now. To me, it's about the money. And this decision is probably going to be happening pretty soon, like right when mandatory minicamp happens. We'll see if he shows up or not. For me right now, if he shows up, okay. If he doesn't show up, retire, go ahead and give me that money back so we can go ahead and figure out what we're going to do, if we're going to add somebody or if we just need that operational money during the season. But we'll see what happens with that. That's going to be the recap today. I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.